Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. You're on Surbroadcast on the music scenes, coming to you live from Charlotte, North Carolina. In the studio tonight, I have local musician, the lead guitarist from the Prodigal Sons, nice guy Todd Lee. Once again, my name is Brett Denton, and we're going to talk a little bit about music. We're going to educate you guys a little bit on music, and I want to just thank Todd for coming in.
Thanks for inviting me, Brett.
Oh, well, hey.
To be here.
Well, good. I played with Todd now for, over 2 years, and him and I are, we're kind of a team. I've always liked Todd. That's the reason I call him Nice Guy Todd Lee, because you know what? He's always a nice guy. So
95% of the time.
Thank you, sir. I just wanted to have you point that out. He's a teacher. I went, what school do you teach at?
Quill Hollow Middle School.
That's a nice one.
Charlotte.
I went by that the other day. It was really nice. Tonight, we're going to talk about guitar gods. And as a matter of fact, I have a book. Excuse me. Oh, it's around here somewhere. I'll get it. A book called Guitar Gods. And we'll reference that, but we've also got some that we are into. We lost a great guitar player, which is probably Todd's favorite, just a couple of months ago, the great Johnny Winter. How'd you start to get into Johnny Winter?
Well, I mean, I remember hearing stuff from him like Rock and Roll Hoochie Coo back when I was probably late in grammar school, and I started listening to the radio. I remember they had, that song. They had his brother's song,
Free Ride.
Free Ride, yeah, Edgar
Free Ride.
Winter. Yeah, and so I started listening to that kind of stuff, and I knew who he was, and I don't think I really appreciated how good of a guitar player he was back then, because, I mean, I was still listening to what would have been like top 40 rock kind of stuff at the time. But, years later I found out, a lot more about him. And then I did actually get to see him once in concert. He opened up for George Thorogood at the old Coliseum. Well, I guess it's now Bojangles Coliseum now.
Wow.
But that was, and again, I don't know that I really appreciated him, but at that time I remember I just listened to the Still Alive and Well album, and the song that I really liked off of there was All Tore Down, because, I mean, if you can't identify with that song, what he's saying in there, I'm all tore down, I'm standing up tall with my back flat on the ground, I know how that feels. So I could identify with the lyrics as well as the music, that just grungy kind of blues
Well, you play
rock.
it so well. You know what I mean? That's one thing. And it's a tough song to play. I'm sure he would disagree, but it's definitely a little harder. But nothing about Johnny Winter is easy. You know what? I think why don't I just play a little Johnny Winter so we can just kind of see what we're messing with. All right. Thanks for your patience there. Look at him. He's in his prime right there. Not too many people can pull off a guitar like that.
No.
What's that, a Thunderbird he's playing?
Firebird.
Firebird.
Yeah, Gibson Firebird. And just some of the picking patterns he does in an open key. I think that song's in an open D.
It's an open D.
And then it's like, in addition to all the slide riffs he's playing, he's doing some kind of finger picking pattern just with his playing some of the notes on the.
Yeah, he does that 3-finger roll really well. If you look at him, you can see where he's definitely using a couple of fingers with a thumb pick.
He does the.
Go ahead.
Meatown Blues, he does the same thing. It's in the key of A, a different key, but he does a lot of that before he even pulls the slide out to play.
His complexion is much too white. It's hard to see in that video, but Johnny Winter is probably 5'10". He was about 140 pounds, maybe. Cross-eyed albino guitar player from Beaumont, Texas. Really, really fantastic guitar player, and he influenced a lot of people. At one time in 1969, he was the highest. He signed a contract to be the highest paid musician of that time. I think it was a big too. It was like $300,000 or something, which is the equivalent of a lot more nowadays. But that a lot of bands didn't get that kind of and I think it was for Second Winter, maybe. I think that's when on. Of course, he performed at Woodstock as well. Well, since we're talking about guitar heroes tonight, and guitar hero or guitar god is somebody that really kind of surpasses everyone. There's millions and millions and millions of guitar players out in the world, but there's only about 100 that really stand out, that are really good, that don't sound like anybody else. What you agree with me on that?
Yeah, that are unique and nobody else can really duplicate the way they sound. Because there's a lot of people that do sound real similar to someone else.
That's right.
And a lot of times it's like there's nothing new under the sun. So when somebody comes up with a sound, like thinking back 25, 30 years ago, Eric Johnson had a different sound than a lot of people.
Right.
And that's why he would have stood out.
Eddie Van Halen had what they called the Brown sound, and they all do. And a lot of it, people go out and they'll buy pedals and, they'll try to get amps, the same one, but it's all in the fingers. It's all the way that they play, they put vibrato on the strings. I know. Now, since we're talking guitar heroes, let's do. If my wife is watching, let's see. I'll tell you what. She loves Joe Bonamassa. She's got a big crush on him. So I'm going to play. Here we've got Eric Clapton sitting in with Joe Bonamassa doing Don Williams' Tulsa Time. No, scratch that. Bobby Blue Bland's Further On Up the Road. This is at the Royal Albert Hall. Have you seen this before?
I think so. I have.
Yeah.
Seen a clip.
Clapton and Joe Bonamassa, that's like teacher and student right there.
Yeah.
You think Clapton's jacket is custom made?
Oh, yeah.
Eric Clapton, people have put him down before and said things like, he was better when he was younger. I think he keeps getting better and better.
You can't. I don't think you can't get better as you get older.
Even his voice, like if you listen to Mainline Florida, that album, his first solo album that came out, his voice is just so much better now. He looks pretty good, as much as he really abused himself.
Yeah, but I think he's probably come back a lot.
Oh, 100%.
He was bad off.
Right.
There in the late 60s, early 70s.
Right. I mean, real bad. Oh, yeah. He's so fluid. He's like in the pocket.
Yeah.
Oh, that bass player is good too. You hear that? Do 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 do. That's a nice color, huh? That blue.
Yeah, kind of.
My gosh.
Powder blue, robin's egg blue, whatever you call that.
Looks like he always plays maple necks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if I've ever seen him with a rosewood neck before or not.
I mean, look, man, he's still. He has a good vibrato. Well, man, there you go. Joe Bonamassa with his teacher. Who would you say your favorite, if you had to name one current... No, I'll tell you what. If you can name one guitar player that would be your absolute favorite, or even one better, tell me who first made you pick up a guitar, and then who you're currently... your favorite.
Okay, well, I would have to say the person that made me first pick up a guitar would be Richie Blackmore, because
from Deep Purple,
because I love Deep Purple stuff, just period. And I don't know that anybody else ever. I mean, I like Carlos Santana. I had some of his albums, both live at Diamond Head with Buddy Miles and
whoa.
You hear stuff he played on the radio too. So I always liked that Latin influenced blues kind of sound. I think I did a lot of that when I was younger, especially trying to emulate the way he sounded. Good example is that song that we used to try to play that was from Dave Childers wrote called Dr. Sanchez.
Oh, Dr. Sanchez, yeah, that's right.
And the whole solo I created was based off that whole, I call it the faux.
Well, they were talking about, the Castro regime when they kind of overthrew everything, and it's kind of based on that. That's a pretty good song, man. Shout out to local guy Dave Childress.
Yeah.
So now, who would you say? Who's your favorite now?
I don't know.
I know, man. It's tough.
It's like apples and oranges. I mean, as far as blues guitarist. I was just thinking about that the other day. Who do I really like? It falls in that genre, and I like Gary Clark's sound. Throw some names at me real quick.
See, only you would know.
Yeah, I realize that.
Yeah.
Man, that's a hard one. I mean, I like Kenny Wayne Shepherd. I like his style.
I always did.
But if you go back, somebody like Stevie Ray played. I mean, everything it's like he bled the blues. I mean, if you really listen to the stuff he does, some of the less commercial stuff, I guess, that gets all the airplay.
Yeah,
it really.
Is killer. I've got a song on here. I can go ahead and. I keep bumping the microphone with my headphones. Let's see.
Rock Influences was brought to you by Clairol. Clairol's going to make someone beautiful today. Why not you?
Hey, like that outfit, Todd?
Yeah. The concho shell belt.
Not too many people can get away with that.
No. And think about it. That whole style was like counter to the whole 80s,
Oh, man, 100%.
Thompson Twins, modern English crap that was going on. the studio-produced musicians versus, I mean, this guy's really playing. So he'd get away with number one because he's the real deal. He's not just some pop rock star.
I'll tell you, I kind of go back and forth with Steve. Either I'm really liking him and listen to him a lot, then I kind of don't hear him for a while, but then when I see him, I think Reese Wyans is still playing on a lot of studio stuff, and
is that the keyboard player?
Yeah, he sometimes is in Nashville. Okay, I think Stevie will probably take off. Whoa. And on and on and on. He just has like an endless bag of licks. Yeah, I was unfortunate. I really didn't listen to Stevie Ray Vaughan until maybe about 10 months before he passed away. I was up in the Navy, and I heard Crossfire on the radio, and I went out and got the CD. It was the cassette then. About 90 or 91, something like that. It came out, and I just couldn't believe it. The songs were good. He was good. I had just started getting into blues. I had just picked up the guitar, and I was all about it. You know what I mean? And
being a little bit older than you.
Yes, sir.
Or rather, me being a little bit older. Yeah, older than you. I mean, I had Texas Flood. I remember when Pride and Joy came out.
Right.
And what's the other one? Love Struck and all that. And so I went out and bought that album. But the song I really, really got to like was the instrumental on there, Testify. Yeah, love that song. It's just tearing it up. Just an instrumental was just tearing it up. And then couldn't stand the weather. And then there's, it's like sometimes, if you notice, some people kind of go through peaks and valleys as far as their sound.
Oh, 100%.
And then there's some, there's some people I won't listen to them past a certain album. There was I think it was Soul to Soul. I couldn't name a single song off of that one. But then I got Crossfire, and I guess that was the last thing he put out, other than some of these compilation albums that have come out since he died.
Even there's a couple of unplugged tracks that I've seen him do, Pride and Joy and Life by the Drop. He finally got cleaned up, him and Tommy Shannon, who's the bass player, who also incidentally played with Johnny Winter. What the story goes that they were over in Europe, and he starts coughing, and he's coughing up blood, and they said, hey, we need to get you to the hospital. He said, no, you need to get me somewhere so I can get a drink.
Yeah.
So he went, and he found out that abuse of a white substance and drinking. He felt like you had to live the blues to play the blues. That was Johnny Winter's old kind of way of thinking.
Yeah.
And Stevie really, he was just roaring whenever that In Step came out, and it had, so many great songs on it. And then he did Family Style with his brother, Jimmy Vaughn, incidentally, who was with the Fabulous Thunderbirds for years and years and years. He's probably one of my faves, too. I really like Jimmy Vaughn. It's just, he kind of, even though Jimmy Vaughn was with the Thunderbirds, Fabulous Thunderbirds, Stevie was still... it could be argued they're both great in their own kind of way.
Yeah, but one outshone the other. I think,
in guitar playing, a lot of times, a lot of people say less is more, but, it's kind of like Yngwie Malmsteen said that, no, more is more.
More is more.
That's,
Yeah,
so you
I can see that. I did like some less is more guitar players, but they probably wouldn't they wouldn't really fall into the blues genre. They would be like outside, somebody like The Edge. From U2, or maybe Peter Buck from
R.E.M.
Yeah, those are people that to me they personified a good less is more.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. Peter Buck has more of the jangly.
Yeah,
and Edge uses a lot of echo and chord. U2 got together. They didn't know how to play anything.
Yeah.
So their style is kind of like R.E.M.'s also. It's kind of built on what you can play.
And they go from there, yeah.
And we both know that, being musicians, that we sometimes holding back and playing something really simple can be really hard. It can be, especially doing rhythm or holding down, the back end, or even in solos, it's doing something fairly simple. It is definitely a difficult.
Yeah, there has to be a certain amount of complexity, though. To really be considered a good guitar player.
That's it.
While we're sitting here talking about our guitar guys, there's some lesser-known people that come to mind that I was impressed with, and they just kind of come in and they fade out. One of them would be there was a band. I think the singer Tito Lariva. Tito and Tarantula.
Tito and the Tarantulas. Yeah, they were on the Better Off Dead with George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino. Yeah,
and they had a band that was called the Cruzados. They put out 2 albums, and the first one had a guy named Stephen Hufstetter playing guitar. And I thought that guy's style of guitar was really cool. The only other person who even sounds remotely like him would be Chris Isaacs. Has kind of the same style, but this guy's playing was a lot more aggressive. And another, I'm trying to think of somebody else in that same time period.
Here, I'll interrupt you. If
okay, go ahead.
There is, the guy has a Grammy Award for Best Folk Album, and it's Dave Alvin, who we were fortunate enough to go and see.
I got to see him with the Blasters.
You got to see him with the Blasters, who are They were a rockabilly band in the 80s when you had bands like X and Susie and the Banshees and, that kind of L.A. scene that was over here. But they played 50s rockabilly, and Dave Alvin was the guitar player, and his brother's name was Phil Alvin. We got to go see him play, and he's just an underrated guy all the way. He writes good songs. He's got a kind of a different but cool voice. He plays guitar really, really well, and it's just, he said it's a cross between Lightning Hopkins and Johnny Guitar Watson. Okay.
Yeah, I agree. That was a great live show.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
That was like,
I'm not even the Dave Alvin fanatic you are, but I thought that was a great show. Man. That's why I went and bought the CD there.
I just like his presentation. I just think it's oops.
Oh, the other guy, I totally forgot about this. I've seen him 3 times now, finally, is Billy Duffy. Now, he's definitely more of a rock guitar player.
Of the Cult.
Right. But if you go back to Jimmy Page, to me, he's kind of like picked up where Jimmy Page might have left off, maybe. I don't know.
No, he is, I listen to them, the Cult all the time, but at that point I wasn't playing music. I just know that I really, really like them.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play just a little bit of Dave Alvin. I had it set up. Thanks for being patient. And let's go ahead and bring this up. And this is called Harlan County Line. This song was used
Whatever
in the
mountain you set out to conquer every day, there's
critically acclaimed TV show called Justified. And he does a lot of producing. He is just a fantastic. Okay, can we bring that up? Here we go. This is Harlan County Line. She is really a good drummer.
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
I had a crush on her.
I know you do. That's why you talked about that night.
I know, Susan.
Wait a minute.
It's all right. No,
Are we
she knows. She knows. She's got her Mark
All
Wahlberg. You know. Oh, here we go.
Another morning, another motel bed, and another city waiting up ahead.
I just think he is
Light
cool,
another
Jack.
memory
I just do,
my
man.
mind. Of all those memories I pretend to forget. 'Cause I
He
always
claims he
wanna
doesn't have the
live without
best
regrets, but
voice, but he uses space,
still think of
which
her.
is a scary thing.
Yeah.
Time to time. And if she's still living across the Harlan County line,
They're playing Threadgills in Austin, Texas, right there.
now when we met we were both living far from home, trying to get by and tired of being alone. Then for a moment I thought she was mine, 'cause she had a voice I just wanted to believe. She said her mother was full-blood Cherokee and her daddy was a Union man down in the mines. And he was fighting the good fight across the Harlan County line.
There's a Farm Aid where he has That's Perfectly Yellow back in like '85. He's playing the same guitar. Get ready for this bass. We were like,
Now people can be noble and people can be cruel. They'll make you president or they'll make you a fool, but she always treated me nice and kind. Until that day she left me on my own and said there was some trouble she had to handle back home. But she gave me a number and said, call anytime.
When I was living out in Bakersfield, California, I lived out for about 4 years, and I got this magazine called No Depression, which was about Americana music. And you know, I listened to the blues and, you know, old country music and you know, some of the I did like some of the 80s music because, you know, I'm a child of the 80s. And anyway, I was living in California, and I had the No Depression magazine, and I would just kind of read about these, you know, different people. And, you know, they'd have Lyle Lovett, they would have Dave Alvin, they would have Loretta Lynn with the White Stripes. You know, they did an album, and you would read about all these. And I kept hearing about Dave Alvin, how a professor at UCLA said that he is the poet laureate of California music, and he's written songs about the Ash Grove nightclub that was big in the 60s and 70s. He's written a song about Andersonville Prison. He's written one about Everett Roos. And then he also write songs about, him being a pimp and his girlfriend, this and that, and, Harlan County Line, and there's also some Beautiful City Across the River. And we went to a show and we were listening to the song called Ash Grove, and they had this great line on it, inside it, that says, you can go out searching, pretend or put on airs, but the blues are going to find you someday, somewhere. And I just love that. We were watching the concert, and Susan looked a little emotional. I said, well, what's wrong? She goes, well, it's just different seeing him live. And, we caught him, and he was just fantastic. I'm amazed at some of the things that he has been able to do. And like anybody else, he's starting to get popular. I'm hearing him on Sirius Radio, but he's been doing this since 79 or 80. I'm going to take a minute here, and I'm going to kind of talk about what's going on, and Todd can also help me out. Just this week at the Fillmore, you've got, here we go, Backstreet Boy, Nick Carter. Is that right? No. Backstreet Boy, Nick Carter, and then from the New Kids on the Block, Jordan Knight, Wednesday, October 15th, 8 p.m. Todd's got his tickets, and he is going. They've also got a few bands called New Politics, or a new band out on the scene. You need to check them out Thursday, October 16th at 7:30. And Young Jeezy, which is Friday, October 17th at 9 p.m. Two of those are kind of up-and-comer bands, and, those guys really played their heart out. And if you get a chance, you can go and check them out. Coming soon, Drive By Truckers, fantastic band. Saturday, November 1st at 8 p.m. One of Todd's favorite guitar players. I'm surprised he didn't bring this up when we were talking about, look at you looking around, see if you can see it, but I'm surprised you didn't bring up this guy. Robin Trower is coming Wednesday, November 5th at 8 p.m. He's been around for a while. He's really good.
Procol Harum.
Oh, and if you like burlesque, oh my gosh, these girls that are the Suicide Girls, let me tell you, they are tattooed, beautiful, and kind of edgy. So if you get a chance, Wednesday, November 12th at 9 p.m., that is something I would love to go see them. Oh, here you go, Todd. Triple deal. Slayer, Suicidal Tendencies, and Exodus. All on one show. That's going to be pretty heavy.
Yeah, definitely. Slayer.
Oh, I know. Break out your earplugs.
But they were on the soundtrack of that movie, The River's Edge.
Oh,
you remember
really?
That?
Yeah.
With Crispin Glover and Keanu Reeves.
Right.
So
they're fantastic. There's a new kind of a goth, kind of in the vein of Kiss, called the Black Veil Brides that are out. They're kind of the new, heavier sound.
Testicle Tuesday.
And let's see, they're coming Friday, December 5th at 6 p.m. I love that Jim Carrey. That's funny. Also, have you seen Steel Panther? Have you heard of these guys?
I've heard the name.
Oh,
yeah.
These guys dress up like, members of Poison, members of Rat, kind of the antithesis of the 80s hair bands. And they do that kind of music with the pointing guitars and the hair and the spandex pants and just the whole kind of funny 80s scene that was out there. And coming up, for all you hippies out there, Tuesday, December 30th, New Year's Eve, Widespread Panic are going to be at the Fillmore. That's a great place over there. You need to go and check it out. It's in the NC Music Factory, which has a lot of good bars and nightclubs, and there's a good comedy club that I went to down there. That is also something you can check out. Let's see. All right, Todd, when was it we played at the Double Door Inn?
Almost 10 months ago.
Was it? It was 10 months ago?
Yeah, 10 months ago, something like that.
Seems like all of your bigger stars of blues music kind of passes through there. Stevie Ray Vaughan played there, Eric Clapton, Fabulous Thunderbirds, the Nighthawks, Dave Alvin.
Yes.
You get Dave Kirchin, you get a lot of different variety, and I'll tell you, it is supposedly the oldest live music venue east of the Mississippi. So it's got some history in there, and it was awesome playing there, wasn't it?
Yeah, it really was.
I mean, I had heard from it. You know, it's kind of like a Whiskey Go-Go or a Billy Bob's in Texas or Blueberry Hill, Chuck Berry's in St. Louis, or Buddy Guy's up in Chicago, or the Slippery Noodle in Indianapolis. It's one of those kind of deals.
Yeah.
And so coming soon, November 8th, is Zydeco Yaya. Really good Zydeco music. I've seen them before at the Cajun Festival over in Henderson, Kentucky, back when I lived in southern Indiana. I guess that gives me away as being a Yankee, right? Did I just see it? But that's the reason I say southern Indiana.
Right.
Because we're right on the Kentucky line, you know. Of course, the king of Diesel Billy, the Titan of the Telecaster. You got Bill Kirchen coming in December 17th at 8 p.m. I'm going to go, and so is Susan. Let's see. On October 15th, which is Wednesday, tomorrow night, you got Igor and the Red Elvises. I checked these guys out, man. It's some pretty hip stuff. If you get a chance, go down and check them out. Thursday night, you got Royal Noise at 10:16. Excuse me, that's the date, 8 o'clock. You also have Matt Schofield Friday night, the 17th at 8. And Josh Roberts, which is a really good kind of an acoustic player, and the Hinges are going to be there Saturday night, 10 o'clock. Of course, on Monday, they always have the Monday Night All-Stars. They've been having that for a while.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen that. They also have, like, the Bill Hanna Jazz Band. Is that right? They play there a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about a cool gig to have. Also, this right here has got to be one of Todd's favorite bands. October 26th, which is a Sunday, Los Lobos is coming to the Night Theater, and I've seriously been thinking about going and seeing them.
Yeah.
We do a song called Don't Worry Baby, which was a selection that you wanted to use. I played it last week on the program. It was a really good one. This week at the Visualite, you have Courtney Barnett. She's a beautiful girl. October 17th, Sweet Voice, which is Friday, 8:30 p.m. You got the Shaky Grooves, which is some hip kind of funky music, October 18th, which is a Saturday at 8 p.m. And you've got the Stooges Brass Band. And I took a look at their stuff, and, you know, I like all kinds of music. It's got kind of that, you know, New Orleans sound. That's going to be Thursday at 9 p.m., October 16th. Here you go. The Bojangles Coliseum, Ovens Auditorium. Here's one for you. Chrissy Hine is coming November 8th. Not with the Pretenders.
Right, she's solo.
She, of course, is the lead singer for the Pretenders, and she's coming solo. So, you know, she's also a Telecaster player herself. Because I thought, wow, that'd be a cool one. I think she's great. You know, I do.
Yeah.
Got Dave Chappelle coming in November 18th, and, of course, the Brian Setzer Orchestra, which is December 6th is coming in. He's going to have, it's going to be the Brian Setzer Orchestra, which is, he said, you know, it's expensive to, you know, have a 16-piece band plus upright bass player and a, well, I guess that would be all that he would probably need is that. But he just said it's a little expensive and gas and all that to get those guys around. But people really like it. We got some festivals coming up, of course. In Pineville, you have the Fall Fest, which is at Lake Park, Friday, October 17th. That is in Pineville. Todd hails from the great city of Pineville. And, when we moved here, we moved to Pineville actually probably less than a half a mile from your house.
Yeah.
Just right.
Cheswick's right there.
Yeah, if I would have known, we wouldn't have had to wait so long to meet. Also, you've got Spinning Spiders for Halloween and Creepy Crawlers. That's Spinning Spiders and Creepy Crawlers at the Charlotte Nature Museum. That is Saturday, October 16th. Time Warner Arena, Charlotte Checkers. If you're into hockey, Charlotte Checkers with versus the Iowa Wild. And they're playing both Saturday the 17th and Sunday the 20th. Saturday at 7:30 and Sunday afternoon at 1:30. And, here we go. The 12th annual Q City Charlotte Barbecue Championship is October 17th and 18th. That's in Uptown Charlotte on Tryon Avenue. And I heard it draws up to about 100,000 people. So, and those guys that go to those barbecue festivals and cook, that's their deal.
Yeah.
And they definitely get into their
craft.
Oh, they do. I mean, everything is, I like when they kind of have little stickers telling what they won, and Carolina barbecue is a lot different here than it is, say, in Texas. Texas, it's beef.
Right. And
here, what is it?
pork.
Pork? Is it rub? It's rub, right?
Well, sometimes, dry rub sometimes, and it depends on what part of North Carolina it's from. If it's eastern, it's got more of a vinegar base. The vinegar stays in it even as you proceed west towards places like High Point and Lexington. You get down towards Shelby. It's still the same thing with a little bit more, just a pinch more tomato sauce. It's not overdone with the tomato sauce stuff.
That's awesome. I didn't know you knew that. Wow.
Yeah, but see, my family's from Shelby, and I grew up eating Bridges barbecue, which is, to me, that's like the pinnacle of barbecue. But of course, my wife's from Memphis, and it's a whole other story.
It is a totally different. I got to go to Beale Street and actually got to set in for a whole set. A friend of mine from Indiana, Mindy, she worked with me at a place called the Cork and Cleaver, which was in Evansville, and a headhunter came and got her and took her down to King's Palace on Beale Street. And, B.B. King's was right across the street, and there were a lot of these kind of homeless musicians, and Mindy would take care of them. They would come at night, and they would play, and then she would give them food and give them some beer, and then at lunchtime they would come back and get a little bit more food, and she would feed them, and then they would go and play right beside the place, and they were good. Well, they had one night, I was in town, I was hanging out with her, and she came into the bar and said, the guitar player hasn't shown up. And she goes, do you think you could do it? And instantly, and I'd already heard Marty Stewart was walking up and down the street. So, that's like another added little anxious, I would hate to look and see, Marty Stewart. So anyway, I'm more of a rhythm guy. I play bass. I like rhythm guitar. But, we did a lot of G and E and, Red House and, kind of Born Under a Bad Sign and kind of those standards that most of us know anyway, slow blues, and they had a really good singer. So anyway, I've played on Beale Street. That's my big claim to fame, and actually probably my only claim to fame. But their barbecue is fantastic down there. They've really honed that skill, around there. And all those recipes have been passed down since, probably early 1900s, and but that's what's going on in Charlotte. And Todd and I have played together for 2 years now, and it has been great. We have got to play at Safari Miles,
the
Comic Grill, Matthews Ale House, the Friendly Moose, Henson's Drive-In,
Buddy's Point, in Monroe,
Smoky Joe's. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, Smoky Joe's over on
Smoky
Monroe
Joe's. We got to play at
Treehouse Vineyards.
Treehouse Vineyards, which is a great venue down there.
Right there on the edge of Monroe.
Did you say Buddy's Point?
Yeah, Buddy's Point.
We played McHale's in Fort Mill
until it closed. And then we've been regularly playing at McHale's here in Rock Hill.
That's it.
Yeah.
So when do we play next here?
This coming weekend.
That's right. Saturday night, 10 o'clock. All ages are welcome at McHale's Irish Pub on Main Street in the Historic District. All ages are welcome. They have really good food.
This weekend is like their
Oktoberfest down there.
Right.
Yeah, so that should be a lot of fun. I'm kind of looking forward to it. So we play a lot. Todd and I, the Prodigal Sons play a lot of rock and blues, up-tempo. I don't think we have any slow songs. We're like a freight train. We just fast.
Yeah.
Heck, speaking of the Prodigal Sons and fast music, I'm going to pull out a song that actually Todd does the guitar part for. This is Gary Clark Jr. He's from Austin. He has kicked blues in the tail, and we do a couple of songs by him, and he's got that red hollow body Epiphone capoed at the 3rd fret in G. It's called I Don't Know You a Thing.
Okay, it's the 5th fret in A. Just so you...
Oh, did I say...
I had to correct you on that one.
I always get that wrong. I thought it was in G. I play the bass. tone, doesn't
Yeah.
he?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's all right.
You stealing some licks there?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, check out that jazz bass. It's bad.
Yeah.
Whoa.
This all you get now, babe. That's all you get. This all you get now, babe. That's all you get. This all you get now, mama. That's all you get. Just be
I'll tell you what, if you get a chance, go and see that guy. I look on his schedule, and he's got some cool T-shirts, but he just hasn't come up here. I bet you, I don't think he could play the Double Door Inn. I think he would probably have to go over to the neighborhood theater, probably.
Yeah, he's big enough.
Yeah.
I think I don't think they could fit him in there, especially showing up at something like Crossroads Festival.
Yeah, I mean, really, that is true. And Todd, you play that song every night when we play, and the bass, I know, is just moving. You know what I mean? The whole time, it's just relentless. How about that guitar part?
It's almost like playing some kind of old Delta blues lick. It's finger picked. You're playing the bass note.
Do you do the thump the bass?
Yeah, you're playing the bass note.
I showed that. Yeah, okay.
So I can play it without a capo. It's kind of hard to do without the capo, but
oh, that's cool.
and that's what he's doing. Of course, it flows a lot better when I'm.
Yeah, of course.
When you get that capo there instead of having
That's
to bar
it.
it. I couldn't do it barring, not for very long.
Oh no, I couldn't either. And I had a friend of mine. I would use a capo because I had another guitar player that I played with, and he was just fantastic. And I was strictly with rhythm. I didn't want to make it cry or sing. I just love holding down. That 1 4 5. I don't know. I just love that, and kick in with the bass. It was just real simple 1 4 5 type stuff. And then he was just fantastic. And just kind of break things up, I would use a capo. And a capo, for those of you who don't know, basically kind of holds a chord at a certain position on the neck to give it kind of a brighter sound is probably the best way to describe that.
Also allows you to change keys.
That's right. That's right.
And still play like open style chords.
Right. And we don't want to get too technical here, but anyway, he that Mississippi Hill Country where you're thumping the bass. No, because a lot of that came about is because they didn't have a bass player thumping.
Right.
So it's and it's great if you can incorporate that, anyway with what you're doing. Let's see now. Let me see what I had down here for get some of them in. Here's probably, I think this is the greatest guitar player alive, Buddy Guy.
I thought I saw him about 2 years ago with the Blues, Brews, and Barbecue.
Down there, and I was there
uptown
too.
Charlotte,
I was there. I got a signature polka dotted strap. But since it's signed by him, I don't want to play it. John Mayer. I don't see a pick.
A lot of those old guys don't use picks.
Maybe he does.
They're all thumb picking it.
Look at here. Why you damn right I got the blues? On my head right down. from my head down to my shoes. Cause I ain't got a doggone thing to lose. Look at here, man. I stopped by my daughter's house. People are just as trying to use the phone. Stopped by my daughter's house. Yes, I did. Oh, I was trying to use the phone.
Hey, like that polka dotted Stratocaster.
Yeah.
You better make sure you're good. You get on stage with that thing.
Daddy, you know ain't nobody at home.
John Mayer. He's good. You know, a lot of people kind of give him, you know, kind of the business because he is a womanizer. But he's good. He's real good. Let's listen to Buddy and see what he does.
It almost sounds like John Mayer's doing his take on Stevie Ray, some of those licks. But you know, you listen to a lot of those old school guys. That's what they do. They just kind of like they play those licks like they're making the guitar talk, like it's having a conversation with you.
Buddy is so wild, you know, and he does his solos. It's like, okay, son, go sit down and watch this. Well, there's a little buddy guy for you. Todd, since you said you like Dickie Betts from the Allman Brothers so well, I'm going to play a little bit of that. Looks like we're almost out of time. Let's see which one. There we go.
Yeah, I think Rambling Man was definitely the first song I ever heard by them. But that style of guitar, and then probably Jessica would be the second thing I heard by them. And everything else kind of came afterwards. But that just melodic, kind of clean.
Got Dangerous as Dan Toller on the guitar there, and there's Dickie Betts. Check out the 59 Gold Top. And that's Dickie Betts, Mr. Richard Betts. Fantastic. Well, Todd, I really appreciate you coming in tonight. Kind of stormy weather out there. Little T-Bone Walker reference. And, you know, there's a lot of other good guitar players that are out there. You've got guys like Keith Richards. You got guys like Eric Johnson. You got people like Dave Navarro. You have Jack White. You have Joe Satriani, Ani, you've got Hendrix, you've got Zach Wilde, you've got John Five. There's just some really good. It's not just the blues. It's there's all kinds of different styles. And remember what Miles Davis said. There's two kinds of music out there. There's good and there's bad music. You want to pick one, and we'll take us out of here.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, let's just do something in the key of A.
Yeah, we'll do something on the key of A. Once again, Mr. Todd Nice Guy Lee came in tonight, guitar player from the Prodigal Sons. Remember, folks, we will be at McHale's Irish Pub this Saturday night, 10 p.m. All ages are welcome. Great food, great fun, and it's Oktoberfest that night. So we're going to do a little something here. We appreciate everybody. We'll be here every Tuesday night. Tell your friends, tell your mom, tell your dad. All right.